But like the concept of shifting from I'm getting paid every week no matter what to I'm having to wait 30 days to get something was really hard on me. Like it was hard on me. Sanbalani Dumelang, hello, my name is Malwande and welcome to my channel. A little bit of a backstory. I started my hair business named Nayegelwe Hair in 2019. I had just graduated from university. I studied visual arts, fine arts at the University of Cape Town from 2015 up until 2018. 2019 January, I then moved back to Johannesburg to live with my parents, and unemployment caught me. Yes, I had sold a couple of prints and artworks from my graduation show, and I was still kind of selling more of those. But you know, after 2 or so months, that kind of wasn't enough of work per se, because actually it wasn't work, I was just making sales, but I had nothing to actually do with my time. Then one day I kind of got a vision, I want to say through prayer, of what if you started your own business? What if you turned that thing you started in varsity into a business? The thing I started in varsity was braiding people's hair. So the vision that came to me was, how about you take this thing seriously? What if this is what you can now focus on and try to see how you can build it up? That is when I designed my own logo, and I was like, okay, this is the name, Nagekelwe Hair. And I remember I wrote in my diary the meaning behind igama elithi Nagekelwe. It's a Zulu word. It means you are taken care of. And I remember writing a whole poem thing because I'm honestly very good at writing. If there was a form to express myself that I would choose, it's writing. I feel like that's where I can express myself the best and I make a whole lot of sense. As a writer, more than I do when I'm speaking. I'm better like this on my own on video. I'm worse in person. I'm worse in one-on-one conversations. I make no sense most of the time. Then sometime during the lockdown, when things started to get a little bit calmer, I opened a TikTok account. I get Zasha one way. I opened a TikTok account. I started posting my work. I was posting my work. Somewhere in 2021, I think I had a video go viral on TikTok, and that brought me a lot of bookings. When I say a lot, somewhere there, I then started my hair products. I designed braids, bonnets. Now they're popular, but at the time they were not. I designed one because I figured, how exactly are we actually sleeping with braids? This thing of me only having a bonnet here and then having my braids hanging became just a big irritation. I think 2022, early 2022 or somewhere there, I applied to be a Takealot seller. I get onto Takealot, now I'm a Takealot seller. Alright, I'm gonna skip through all of this. Maybe I'll make a separate video about my whole story. If you want that, let me know in the comment section below. But she gives me a call and she's like, hey, listen, I have an opportunity for you. I would like you to be my employee. Alright. So now, where am I at that point in my business? At that point, Takealot sales are booming. I am feeling understaffed. I was not making enough money for me to move out and like work from a separate space. Initially, the setup was that I had my bedroom. Then there was my younger sister's bedroom. Obviously, my parents had their own bedroom. So there were 3 bedrooms. I basically turned my bedroom into the sewing room because I was sewing. At that point, I had braids bonnets. I had your normal satin bonnets with the satin ties. I had satin scrunchies, I had satin pillowcases. I was doing all things satin. So it was a workspace primarily. I never actually slept in that room. Like, at this point, I was then sleeping in my younger sister's bedroom. So I would create the mess this side, work. When it's time for me to go sleep, I go to the other side and I sleep. That was the setup. Then my sister moved back home. Now I have to sleep and work in the same space, right? And I'm not blaming her for moving back home. Just blame her. It's her parents' home. She could move back definitely if she wanted to. What I'm saying is that that's a dynamic that shifted. So now I was working and sleeping in the same space, which was honestly a lot for me mentally. It was a lot for me mentally. Takealot was booming to the point that I had to basically ask my mom to come help me. And thankfully, my mom wasn't necessarily fully employed at that time, so she did have the time to assist me. And she's also a really skilled seamstress herself, which is where I get the passion for handwork from. So I knit, crochet, sew, all from my maternal side of the family. Then this job thing now happens. So that is the point that I was at. Point of frustration, I'm overworked. Mind you, alongside making these products and Takealot booming, I still have my own website, right? I still have to do social media work, as in the videos, the editing, the posting, the replying to comments. I still have WhatsApp. I have to respond to people who reach out to me on WhatsApp. I have to answer phone calls. All of that stuff, taking my things for delivery. guys, bekukuningi and bengiyi-one. And unfortunately, my business was not making enough income for me to hire someone. I could barely even pay myself. I just think I was at a point where the expenditure, especially of Takealot, I was not prepared well for the expenses that came along with being a Takealot seller at that time. And again, if you want me to speak on that and talk about my lessons and reflections and advice, let me know in the comment section below. I'm more than willing to share that if you want to hear it. Then I got into a relationship as well. In the mix of all of that, guys, party inside all of that, I fell in love, right? Which is something that also requires time from you. You know, you're with a person and they're like, hey, you don't have time for me. You're always working. You are always working. Come weekend when other kids are outside playing, I'm like, let's go play outside with other kids. Where are you? You're working. You are drowning in orders. You've got bookings. This, that. This side, I was trying to also find a new church. I was trying to get planted in a new church. That was proving to be very difficult because my Sundays, I'm either trying to work or I'm trying to get to know this person in my life. It was a lot. My prayer life was suffering. The connect group I was in, the fellowship group I was in was not going well because I didn't have time to necessarily get to know people the way that I should. So yeah, a lot of things are just here and I was like, I'm alone. I wish I could hire someone, but what will I pay them with? Or if I pay them, what am I going to pay myself with? Because I also have expenses. Then I obviously turned to God, like, God, fix it. Nah, bro, fix this thing. You sent this vision, fix it, okay? Because I'm tired. So anyway, then this was when the opportunity came and I didn't apply, okay? I got reached out to. So I assessed the situation that was going on around me, and my heart and my spirit were like, it's time to get up and go. So initially I started off this new job part-time. So I would work for the new job half day, the other half of the day I would be busy with my orders because mind you, Takealot hasn't stopped. I didn't pause my Takealot account. I'm still going because it's good money. And now it was picking up. Like it was good. Just not enough for me to move out and start my own life with it. But it was good. It was really helping my family out. Like it was helping me. I was like, I'm that Takealot boss, babe. Alright. So then that happens and okay, then I started working part-time for a couple of months. We agreed that after a few months I must make the relocation to Durban to basically work on this job full-time, which is why I live in Durban now. I moved for a job opportunity. Funny enough, I was born in Durban, so coming back wasn't so foreign to me. I was like, yes, back to the place where I was born. I also have my uncle who I love dearly who lives here with his wife and children, so it wasn't like I was going to be out here on my own, no. Come March of 2023, I decided, okay, it's time to move. I packed all my things. My brothers, thank goodness for my brothers, they helped move some of my things when they were driving from Joburg to Durban. I put the rest of my stuff into a suitcase and caught a flight and I moved to Durban. I went to go live with my uncle and his wife for about 2 months. Then I got my own place. Yeah, that part of my life is also a story that is to come. So then I moved, got back into the job, and I was now working full-time. So I left it in the hands of my sister and my mom. And to be honest, a big part of me saw that as a blessing because I was like, okay, God, you're moving me into a different chapter, but thank you for the years that you gave me to set up this thing that is now going to feed my family. And my vision behind Naigelo here, honestly, was always to create employment opportunities at the end of the day. I always wanted to be able to give opportunities to someone young who needs them. And at that time, that person was my little sister. And another person who needed an opportunity and just something to work on was my mother. And so I left that in their capable hands. It worked for a couple of months until around June when all the stock that I had made, because mind you, before I relocated to Durban, I was working like a machine, guys. I was working like I'm losing my mind. I would literally work until 1 a.m, sleep for maybe 3-4 hours, wake up and work again because I wanted to ensure that I leave as much stock behind as I could. So that was my life from the start of 2022. I was just working on stock numbers and making sure that there is as much stock as I can possibly make and sewing as much of the material that I had. Like being sebenza. So yeah, now there was no opportunity for any of the stock to be made anymore, and so it had to come to an end like that. I had to go into my Takealot account, pause my shop because the production is no longer happening, therefore I can no longer fulfill my agreement with Take a Lot. Obviously the hair clients, I had to tell them before I left that, hey, I'm actually leaving, and it was really sad, it was emotional, I was heartbroken, they were heartbroken because they're losing a really good stylist. It was tough. So anyway, then I'm here now, and yeah, I come back now. That's now the last tie I had to my business was Take a Lot, and now that was done. Now I'm like a proper employee, just depending on my month-end salary. Oh gosh. That transition on its own was very heartbreaking for me. When you run a business, you get money whenever, okay? Like, money is easily available. I mean, you work very hard for it. Obviously, there's a downside of the fact that if you don't work, you don't get any money. But like the concept of shifting from I'm getting paid every week no matter what to I'm having to wait 30 days to get something was really hard on me. Like it was hard on me. It was disappointing. Let's tackle the part about me facing my failures and feeling like disappointment. I think that came from knowing the why behind my business, like knowing why I started and having to actually accept that now I don't have a say where I work. I'm someone's employee. I do what I'm told. I'm shifting mentally from I'm the leader. We run with my vision. We do what I am feeling. This is the story I'm painting. And like everyone falls into line with the story that I'm painting. I'm in control of the story. And I get to direct this show to yes, boss. Yes, boss. What you say I will do. Yeah, I don't like how things are being done, but I can't do anything about it because why? This is not my business. Like that mental shift is a lot on a person. It was a lot on me. It was hard. It was really hard because I'm so used to calling the shots. Even when problems arise, like I was so used to I have to carry this burden and I'm gonna carry it, I'm gonna push through, I'm gonna solve this problem. After I solve the problem, I'm gonna get to see the results, I'm gonna get to see the outcome, and I'm gonna be so proud of everything I've done and now when things go wrong, I've had to learn how to just do my part. I've had to learn how to ask, what can I do to help? I get told what to do and I do that and I rest. Yeah. And that was really hard. That mental shift was extremely hard, I don't want to lie. And so it took a lot of praying and also crying. I cried. Like I cried several times. I cried in frustration because it led to me feeling as if I'm in a job where I'm not being heard. Because I'd bring solutions to the table and they just get shoved to the side, which is something I was no longer used to because now for the past 2 or so years, it's been my vision. I come up with a solution and it is the solution, and yeah, getting to a place now where you bring solutions and they may or may not be used was like really hard on my character. It was hard on my ego. It was hard on my esteem to be like, yo, I just kind of sort of don't matter anymore. What I have to say doesn't really hold value like that anymore. I also got hit with the loneliness of the employment situation because most of the time I do work from home. So that loneliness really got to me. Like I missed the aspect of person to person interaction in my business. When I had hair clients, guys, those were not just my clients. I really got to know them as human beings. Some of them, even if I saw them just once, even if they only booked me once, I literally built relationships with those people because working on someone's hair is such an intimate experience, and the kind of heart that I had and still have towards it um, always left me very open to connection and communication and really getting myself invested. So that was really hard on me to accept that that's gone. That's gone. That space of soft womanhood, of nurturing, of caring for someone like that, and in turn sometimes being cared for too, because there were times when my clients were the ones who were pouring into my cup when I least expected it. I swear that was a ministry. I promise you that was a ministry. I remember the time where I had a client who actually prayed over me after I worked on her hair. Yo, actually, wow, I was blessed. So yeah, that whole shift was extremely hard on me. So that was the part of overcoming the failure. And obviously I felt like I failed because I quit something that I started with such great intentions. And I felt like I downgraded. I went back to just being a number in the system. Yes, it was great. I'm not going to lie. In the beginning, it was really great because now I have time for friendships. I had time for the relationship that I was in at that time. Jay, it was that. So I was grateful for that. But honestly, after a couple of months, it did get old. It did become like, okay, where's my voice? Where's my voice in my career now? Also doesn't help that the work that I'm doing is not what I'm trained to do. It's like a completely different field. So that was also another thing that posed a challenge for me, which I had to overcome emotionally and mentally and then spiritually too. So yeah, that's what led me to feeling like a failure. I had to really wrestle with, God, why this? And now I'm at a point where I kind of understand why this. So that's why I'm able to speak about it. And I had to step into, God, I trust you. I want to trust you and I want to trust your plan. And honestly, I'm still in the stage right now of, God, I'm just trusting your plan. Do what you will. I look back and I'm like, I trusted you then when you gave me the vision for Naigedwe here, right? I trusted you when you said I can do Take a Lot, right? I trusted you when you said I'll be safe when I go to people's houses on my own and you look after me, and you did. And so I trusted you when you said pack your bags and move to Durban. I trusted you when you said you will afford to live on your own, finally. And I did it. And God did it. And so again, I'm in a season where I'm like, God, I trust you with the fact that I had to leave my business behind. And emotionally, do I want it back? I do. I really do. I want back that opportunity for the impact that I was able to make then. I want the connections that I was able to build with women. I want the spirit of womanhood again and to make an impact in that way. But at the same time, I'm also like spiritually, God, I trust you, because if that's not the way my impact is meant to look anymore, I trust you and you will show me and you will push me into what the impact is. And God is, I'm on YouTube, I'm sitting and speaking to women. I'm at church, serving, impacting women. All this to say, God's things take a shape in a way that we can't envision for ourselves. Like, things just don't look the way that you think they will look. They look the way that God wants them to look. And so as soon as I was able to emotionally make peace with that, I've been in a much better space. Now I can say, yes, I left my business, but I understand that it had to be done. I left my business not because I'm a failure. I'm not a failure. I left my business because God said, leave it. Now on to the next chapter, you know. And that's what it looks like to truly trust God. That's what it looks like to say, God, I trust you. I surrender the business to you. The business was never really mine in the first instance. When I found the name, like I said, it was through prayer. It was not something that I just was like, oh yeah, this is my brand, da 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 da. I mean, yes, there was some of that because now you feel proud of something that you've started, but I always knew the heart was, God, do what you will do through it. And he did. Yo, Hashem, he did. And I'm very happy about that. And so even now with the uncertainty of the next chapters, I'm still like, God, I trust you. Do your thing. Move the way that you will. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much. I hope that this has helped you. And like I said, let's keep the chat going in the comment section. I will catch you in my next one.
Can't keep going back to what I used to know.